Welcome to another episode of Do You Even Resonate? This is a show where I do actual message testing on actual websites, so I put them in front of their actual target audiences. In this episode, we have metadata. Automate your paid campaigns and drive more revenue. So that's what they say. And I tested this against directors of demand gen, growth marketing in B2B SaaS. And I learned things. And so let's have a look at the website first, and then I'll tell you what I learned. So, automate paid campaigns drive more revenue, eliminates manual repetitive work. This Benjamin dude here, big ass testimonials, manual work is killing B2B marketers. Before and after, new way, old way, punching above class, G2. Before and after, or without and with, and that's really hit the homepage. All right, so let's start unpacking this page bit by bit. When I looked at the home page above the fold area, so what we learned here overall is that it creates enough curiosity that people want to keep on reading, which is the number one goal of above the fold. It's like people are like, "Ooh, tell me more. I want to learn more." That's the number one goal, and they nail it. So, job well done. Clarity. So let's see what could be improved here. And the main problem that people have with this here is, and really this is a little nitpicky, is that it's a lot of stuff in a compact space, and especially it has two faces, has Benjamin and has Megan, right? Our brain has a specific part of the to decode human faces, so it attracts attention. We have to look at the human face. Two faces, that's a lot. So that's a lot of attention, both drawing attention away from the value prop. So one of them has got to go. And when I look at the feedback on the above the fold, especially what is unclear and or off-putting is the question. Ben, and so on and so. So people are not really feeling it. Like, what is this Benjamin doing here? And it's like, okay, so it adds vibe and personality here, and I don't know anything about the brand, right? So I don't know why it's here. It's for some reason it's important, I think. But if we look, oh, maybe this is a quirky style of website, but actually no. If we keep on going, there is nothing quirky on this whole page at all. So it really does feel out of place. So I won't say whack Benjamin from the homepage. Or the other alternative is that we remove Megan's picture from above the fold, move it somewhere else. So the main question that arises in this above the fold is, okay, intriguing. How does it work? That's what they ask, right? And then it's the faces thing. And the testimonial up front, maybe it shouldn't be here. Maybe it's just too much to take in this complex space. People do complain about that. And another jab here is this drive more revenue. I mean, it's to the point and we get it what it is, but it's so overused. It's so overused, and really you want to roll eyes. Not about metadata. It's just marketers have ruined this phrase. Could there be a better way to say that? Once we keep scrolling and get to this, manual work is killing B2B marketers, then in light of recent events, this word killing is rubbing some people the wrong way. Do we need the word killing here? I don't think so. I think we could make the same exact point using a different kind of word. Something to think about. We need to be conscious of what is happening in the society around us. And then this sentence, while people resonate with the problem statement in this area, one boring, repetitive task at a time is like an incomplete sentence. Is taken out of context. Like, what is it even saying? So I think we need to fix this. But the biggest problem in this section is this. So the old way and new way. At first you're like, oh yeah, and then you're like, what? What's happening here? So people are like, what the fuck is happening? Am I supposed to understand? Like, this integrates with a bunch of tools, I think, is the new way. But I'm making assumptions here, right? Like, what are the tools, logos that are recognized? The old way. So there's like a dinosaur or T-Rex, and like all this faces. Like, it's like, okay, the faces communicate. It's old, but if I were metadata, I would do just testing on this image alone. So show the image, and maybe add above default context here too, and then ask, please explain me what is the old way, and please explain me how do you understand the new way, and see what they say. I'm gonna bet $10 that they're not gonna get it. So I think this whole infographic, which is a great idea, just needs to be replaced with a better infographic that really spells out what is the old way and what is the new way. All right, it's just it is the data here is clear. This image is not working. People are like, what did I just look at? And we're going to go to the G2 part here. What is interesting? Well, misunderstood panelists. People are like, huh, that's suspicious. If they didn't know that this is misunderstood panelists, why is it that? Like, is it supposed to increase my motivation? I understand if I did a bunch of Google research and I learned that analysts are not getting it, this is like trying to address that. But most people are like, don't know this. So just remove this. And then some about this G2 is like, oh, this seemed like a really interesting tool. And then it's like, what? It's an ABM tool? Huh? And so are you an ABM tool? Do you want to be an ABM tool? You don't even talk about it in that sense, yet you're comparing yourself to ABM tools. So it's creating some confusion in the mind of the customer. And then we get here where it's like without and with metadata. And the interesting thing about this section here, section number 3, and if I get to my analysis here, is our customers can't imagine life without metadata either. So the word our customer makes them think that this is like a testimonial coming up. And this can't imagine life without is a hyperbole that just needs to go. It's just not credible. It's not believable. There are other ways to make the point. So remove our customers and so on. And here, this is supposed to be, this turns into this and this turns into that, but the lines are not aligned. So it's hard to read it. So we need some visual cues. We need some arrows or something, some lines connecting these, that what becomes what. Right now, it's hard, just visually hard to consume this data. Now, the interesting observation I had here was like, people are like, oh, this resonates, and oh, this pain point is good, yeah, but how does it work? And it's like, what exactly are we automating? I'm sure it's coming, yes. And it's like, oh, yes, and they're like, are you really not saying? So this section ends in frustration. People are like building up, like, oh, yes, problem, oh, the value proposition, I love it. How does it work? What exactly do you automate, and how many hours do I save? And it's never answered. It's never delivered. And it's interesting to see how this tension is building up in the data. And so for the overall page, so in the overall section, actually let's look over here, whereas like the demo interest is fairly high, clarity is slightly lower. And what is the problem? What is the problem? And it's mainly key things. It's like how the content they have on the website, we should move it to the homepage. You need to deliver how. We need to spell out what exactly gets automated, and we should quantify how many hours are getting saved. How many hours are getting saved? And then the G2 comparison, people are like, the analyst and the ABM software. Either you want to remove that section, it's creating confusion, or you want to address the elephant in the room. Like, yes, we are an ABM software. No, we're not ABM software. And like, yeah. So there's no real huge problems with the copy and messaging itself. It's more about what is not being said, what is missing, right? So certain small nitpicks here and there, but mainly it's like after reading everything, what is still unclear. And they're not ready to book a demo and so on and so forth. And of course, you have product tour and so on and so forth, but you're going to lose a bunch of traffic when you require a click. It's a key information that people want to know. What do I automate? What are the repetitive tasks? How does it exactly work? You want to move that from the internal pages onto the home page. Thank you very much. Peace.